The stories are overwhelming. Expansion is the story. 4 teams from the West Coast expanding the Big Ten to 18 teams, the largest in FBS. No divisions. The top 2 teams will make it to the conference title game. We know that Michigan has won the conference 3 straight years, but Jim Harbaugh has departed for the NFL. Ohio State currently listed as the favorite at ESPN Bet to win the Big Ten, and of course, one of the brand new schools, the 7-time national champions USC. Lincoln Riley bringing a ton of experience to the Big Ten. He's one of 6 coaches since 2017 to win 80% of his games, and here he is live with us now, the coach of USC, Lincoln Riley. Coach, thank you for doing this. And you and I were just chatting as we were setting up our conversation here in the break. It's hard for me as a Big Ten alum and for you as a traditionalist to sort of wrap our minds around what is happening here with these new schools in the Big Ten. So for you, what would you say has been the single biggest adjustment that you and your staff have had to make with USC joining the Big Ten?
Well, first, thanks for having me. Yeah, it is. It's unique. I think the college football purists and all of us are still maybe getting used to these new conferences and these new matchups. I do think it's going to be an incredible thing, and we're looking forward to the matchups. I think the biggest adjustment has been getting ready for these new teams, these new coaches playing in different venues. I think just all the new challenges that honestly all of us in this league are getting ready to face, not just this year, but over the next couple of years as you get used to some of those different matchups that actually are going to occur. And I think as competitors, that's one of the things that you love about how this league has been constructed, the quality of teams in this league, the quality of coaches, talent. It's undoubtedly put itself up there at the top of college football. It's going to be a great league, and I think the fans, everybody that loves college football, are really going to enjoy watching this league day in and day out.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the challenges you will face, and I'm really interested to hear how you're handling this, it's a conference that traditionally was based in the Midwest and then moved east. And now here you come from the West. So we put the numbers together. Your team is scheduled to travel 13,964 miles this season to your games. At UCLA, even more. Washington, even more than that. What does that mean? How does that factor into a football season?
Yeah, well, good thing we're not traveling by horseback. We're going to be okay. We've got We've got a couple of longer road trips, which I think we've been able to spend some time with the Rams, the Chargers, some of the teams in our area that obviously are used to making those trips yearly. We'll have some of those trips that we'll leave a little bit earlier on Fridays to get there. We're fortunate, and then after those games, we're going to gain the hours flying back to LA, which will certainly help us for the following week's preparation. So it's part of it. We're going to have to do it a couple of times a year. There's going to be teams on the East Coast that are going to come to us a couple of times a year. Like that's just part of how this is going to work. This is very much going to be a national conference, and part of it is those matchups, and a couple hours more on the plane, in my opinion, is probably not that big a deal. To me, it's more about the matchups and getting ready to play each and every Saturday, because you're going to have to bring it in this conference. Yeah,
the new realities of college football, particularly in the Big Ten. Okay, I ran through your extraordinary numbers in your first 7 seasons as a head coach. In the first 6, your teams averaged 11 wins. What was the biggest thing you took away from, you learned from what was a step-back season, if you will, last year at 8-5?
Yeah, it's such a fine line always. I mean, the years that which have been most of them, as you've said, that we've had pretty good football teams and a decent amount of success. We were able to win some of those close games and really push through and play some of our best ball at the end. We weren't able to do that last year in the second half of the season. We let a couple of great opportunities slip away, and that's the nature of the beast. That's how close that these things are every single Saturday. But I'm excited about this team coming up. I really think we've built off the momentum of the Holiday Bowl win over Louisville, where we played with a lot of our young players, a lot of guys that'll be prominent parts of this year's team, and played probably our best game of the season. And certainly excited about some of the defensive staff changes that we've made. And I think just from an overall sense, excited about our climb. I mean, 2 years ago, I know people easily forget, we took over a program that had won 4 games the year before, and we've continually gotten better. We've done a lot of things within the infrastructure of USC to help bring it back to national prominence and to being in the national championship picture year in and year out, which is where this program belongs. that was the challenge that we took over. We're continuing to climb and looking forward to this year and certainly the future.
So with that thought in mind, what would constitute, in your mind, a successful season for USC in your first year in the Big Ten?
USC is about winning championships. Even coming into a program that was a little bit down, I've never backed off of that. I never will. That's not how I'm wired. That's not why I came here. That's not how this program is wired. And so we come into each year to be a championship team. Now, is there certainly, when you take a step back, is there an overall climb that has to happen here like we referenced earlier? Of course there is. But that doesn't mean that we're ever going to set our sights anything lower than winning a championship and holding up a trophy at the end of the season.
Now, Coach, as a proud alum of one of the schools in the Conference of Northwestern University, we welcome you to the Big Ten. Best of luck as you get this thing started. Enjoy it, and we'll check in with you as the season gets underway.